Good Friday morning, boys and girls. I'm glad to see you today. I'm going to adjust my phone here. Good. Yeah, okay. I got a new book with our scholastic order, and I've not ever read it before, so if I kind of stumble over the words, it's just because I'm not used to reading it. It's by Michael Hall. He wrote the words, he's the author, and he did the pictures, so he's the illustrator also. But it's called Red, R-E-D, Red. Looks like it's an interesting book. Okay. He was red. Looks red, but he wasn't very good at it. Did he color something red? Oh dear, that's his mother, Olive. That's his mother. His teacher thought he needed more practice. I'll draw, here's his teacher, her name is Scarlet. Remember, that's a shade of red. I'll draw a red strawberry, then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this, really. So here's the teacher talking to Red, the red crayon. She's encouraging him, isn't she? So his teacher did these, okay? And then he did these. Oh my, she said, let's try again. He wasn't able to do what she said for him to do, right? Because those aren't red strawberries, they're blue strawberries. His mother thought he needed to mix with other colors. Here's his mother again, Olive. That's a shade of green. Why don't you two go out and draw a nice round orange? So there's the yellow, that's Red's friend. And his friend said a really big round orange. A really orange one. What do we get when we mix yellow and red? Do you remember? We get orange. So let's see if they went out and mixed colors. Uh-oh, but they made a big greenish one. Yuck, Yellow said. And Red said, oops. You might be able to figure out why now. He's not able to do red things. His grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough. So here's his grandparents, silver and gray. So there's his grandmother and his grandfather. Your class is making self-portraits for Parents' Night. Wear this warm red scarf. Nice. It's so you. They're trying to be helpful, aren't they? They're trying to get Red to be able to color something red. But it so wasn't. So look, here is yellow, purple, teal. That's a shade of green or blue. There's orange, green, and red. That was his self-portrait. Do you remember we did a self-portrait 2 weeks ago? You had to write your name as best you could, and then you colored a picture of yourself from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And I asked you to remember all the body parts that you had. You had a head and ears and eyes and eyebrows and a nose and mouth. You had fingers and a hand and arm and body and clothes and feet and maybe some shoes. So that was a self-portrait that you did of yourself. So here's the self-portrait that Red did of himself. Is it red? His mother and his grandparents said, oh dear me. Everyone seemed to have something to say. Amber said, sometimes I wonder if he's really red at all. Hazelnut said, don't be silly, it says red on his label. Cocoa Bean said, he came that way from the factory. Fuchsia said, frankly, I don't think he's very bright. Grape said, well, I think he's lazy. Oh, those are kind of put downs, aren't they? We don't do put downs. Army Green said, right, he's got to press harder. Steel Gray said, really? Apply himself. And Sunshine said, give him time, he'll catch on. And Sea Green said, of course he will. They're being encouraging, aren't they? Try a little harder. It's okay, you can do it. But he didn't catch on. Look, green, green frog. Black, black sheep. Brown, cow. Red, ack! It's blue, isn't it? His color of his ant doesn't match up with what his label says. It says red. It's coming out blue. All the art supplies wanted to help. The masking tape thought he was broken inside. This will hold you together. The scissors thought his label was too tight. One snip'll do it. I thought he wasn't sharp enough. So the pencil is sharpening. Stay still now. So the art supplies are trying to help, aren't they? I don't know if it's going to help or not, boys and girls. But even with all our help and all his hard work, he made blue hearts, blue cherries, blue, I think those are supposed to be foxes, because foxes are kind of an orangish red color, and blue toenails. Well, he just couldn't get the hang of it. Look, what's the top color on a stoplight? Green means go, yellow means caution, and red means stop. So look, he didn't even get that right. He put an X on it. And then he went, he's tired of trying, I think. We get that way sometimes, don't we? When we're writing our name and we don't know how to do it yet, we say, I can't do this. Or we're using scissors and we just don't get the hang of it yet. But we shouldn't say we can't. Because when your words say you can't, your brain says, we can't do it. So just lay everything down and walk away. But that's not how we learn. Even if it's hard, we keep trying and we say, this is hard, but I'll try. And I'll try until I get it. One day he met a new friend. This is Barry. Will you make a blue ocean for my boat? So there's Barry. He did the kind of the berry color, the purple raspberry color. And he asked Red if Red would make a blue ocean, because the water it looks blue, doesn't it? I can't, I'm red. Well, will you try? Think he'll try? Let's see if he tries. So he did. Look. Thank you, it's perfect, said Barry. You're welcome, it was easy. Boys and girls, why was it easy for him to make a blue ocean? Look at him. What color is he? Now the label says red. R-E-D, red. And the color of that paper on him is red. But what is the actual color of the crayon? It was blue all along. That's why he couldn't make red hearts, red strawberries, red foxes, red toenail polish, a red on the stoplight. And he didn't stop there. He made bluebells. Those are kind of flowers. Bluebird, blueberries, a blue whale, and blue jeans. It was easy for him, wasn't it? Because he wasn't red at all, boys and girls. He was blue. He was, now look, they crossed out the word red, R-E-D. He was blue. And everyone was talking. Olive, his mom, said, "My son is brilliant." And his friend Amber said, "Who could have known he was blue?" Hazelnut said, "I always said he was blue." Is that true? He didn't say that. Cocoa Bean said, "It was obvious." Well, if it was obvious, why did they keep asking him to color things red? Barry said, "His blue ocean really lifted me." Remember, Barry was the one that had the boat, and he wanted red to make a blue ocean. Sea Green said, "All of his work makes me happy." Oh, I like that when people are happy for me. Brown says, "His blue strawberries are my favorite." Apple Green says, "He's so intense." Yellow said, "I'm going to make a green lizard with him, a really big one." What do you get when you mix yellow and blue? Yes, you get green. Remember the last time they tried to make an orange by mixing yellow and red, but he wasn't red, was he? He was blue, so it didn't come out right. And then Gray said, "I hear he's working on a huge new project." And Scarlet said, that's his teacher, "He's really reaching for the sky." They're all so happy and proud. And he really was. He was making a blue sky. And I'm going to hold this so you can see all the pretty crayons. There are true colors like yellow and green, but there are also shades of those colors. There's scarlet. I have a hard time looking at the picture, boys and girls, and showing, so I'm just going to let you look at the different pretty colors. And I like Barry the most because Barry was the one that finally said, "Will you make a blue ocean?" Barry finally looked at the red crayon. Didn't look at his outsides, but looked at his insides and knew he was blue. So let's talk about this. We're all God's creation, right? God made us all. We're all children of God. And we all look different on the outside. Wouldn't it be boring if you all looked like me? We do not need more than one Mrs. Schmidt in this world, do we? So you look different than me. You might have different hair color, eye color, skin color. You might be really good at playing soccer. Or you might be really good at printing your name. Or you might just be very caring and ask, "Mrs. Schmidt, how are you doing today?" Some of my children in the afternoon class, when they'd come in, they'd say, "Hi, Mrs. Schmidt, how are you doing?" I remember James and Abram asking me that. That made me feel really good. So they were thinking about my feelings. So we're all made up of different thoughts and feelings and talents and looks. But you know what? We're all children of God, aren't we? And that makes us alike in one very special way. But I'm glad we're different, because what if all of us in this whole world was only good at swimming? Well, there'd be no other sports. There'd be no baseball fields. There'd be no bicycles because nobody's good at riding bikes. There'd be no playgrounds because no one's good at running or jumping or climbing. We're only good at swimming, remember? So this whole world, we would just have swimming pools. And we'd all just be swimming. Now, I like to swim, but that might be boring for you. So aren't you glad that there are lots of different things that we can think about, see, do in this world? Yeah. So we don't always want to look at our outsides and think, "Oh, I know you're red because you look red. The label says you're red." But We might be blue, right? That might mean we have special talents and we have feelings. Everybody has feelings, boys and girls. So we don't ever, ever want to hurt those feelings. We want to be, there's a saying, be a fountain. You know what a fountain looks like? It goes up. A fountain goes up, not a drain. You know a drain in the sink? When you fill it up, the water goes down. So it's important to be a fountain and lift people up rather than be a drain and draw people down, okay? So I want you to always think about that. Now that doesn't mean that Mrs. Schmidt is always in a great mood, because I'm not. Sometimes I might have a headache. Sometimes maybe I didn't sleep well. Or maybe sometimes I'm worried about something that causes me to be a drain and not make you feel special. But I really try hard, boys and girls. I really do, and we all should. We should all think about what's underneath all this and how we feel, okay? All right, so I have another book. And remember how I just said sometimes I might have a headache, or I didn't sleep well, or I'm worried about something, or I'm hungry. Those things can make me feel like you're a crab, like I'm a crab. This is called a Moody Day book. Now, we all have moods. Tell me by looking at my face what mood I have. Okay, that was happy. Tell me what mood I'm in if I'm like this. I'm surprised, aren't I? What about this? Scared. Sad. Angry. Those are all moods. And if you're a human being, which we all are, you're going to experience all different kind of moods. Now, if I'm a crab, and I know I'm that way because I have a headache, then I will take some medicine. If I'm a crab, and I know I'm hungry, I'm going to go get a snack or fix a meal. If I'm tired, and I'm cranky and angry, I'm going to go take a nap, or I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight. Sometimes that's just your body telling you, hey, you need to feed me, you need to give me some rest, or you need to take some medicine, okay? So our body, that's our body's way. It can't say, hey, Mrs. Schmidt, you got a headache, go take an aspirin. My good brain tells me, oh gosh, my head hurts. I better go get some medicine. Or, ooh, it's been a while since I've had something to eat. I'm going to go get some walnuts. I love walnuts and almonds. They are so good. So we have to listen to our body. Now, I know it's hard for you to do those things. You might say, my head hurts. I'm just going to act cranky. If your head hurts, tell your grown-up. How do they know that your head hurts? Do they? No. So you need to start using words to tell people how you feel. You might come into the classroom and say, Mrs. Schmidt, I really didn't like my lunch today and I didn't eat much and I'm hungry. And I'll go get you some crackers and some juice or something like that. If you're not feeling good and you're at home, tell your grown-ups so that they can take your temperature, ask you what hurts, okay? So those are just simple ways that we can help our grown-ups around us make us feel better, because they don't know unless you tell them. They might just think, oh, Bobby, that's my pretend student, he's just acting crabby today. I'm going to give him timeout. Well, if I find out why he's feeling crabby, maybe I can fix that. Maybe he's just having a bad day. Maybe he misses his mom or dad or grandma or grandpa. Maybe I can hug him, fix that. Okay, back to You're a Crab. It's a Moody Day book. And I want to show you this mark right here. It's not an alphabet letter. It's a line and a dot. So I call it an excited mark. So my voice gets kind of high and loud. So listen, you're a crab. Okay, that's an excited mark. Wee. Some days you can be a friendly dolphin with a squeaky laugh. That's the way we wish we were all the time, right? But we're only human. Some days you can be a funny clownfish that flips and does somersaults. Some days you could be a silly jellyfish that does a wiggle, jiggle dance. That'd be great to feel like that every day, wouldn't it? And some days you can be a crab. When you're mad, like an eel that zaps at what it sees. Ooh, look at that face. And you can just look at someone's face and know that they're being crabby or not having a good day. Or mean, like a shark that wants to chomp on something squishy. Ooh. I feel like that sometimes, boys and girls. Or frustrated, like a turtle that snaps at his lunch but misses. And frustration comes when we're learning something new, like writing our name or cutting paper. Then you're a crab, a hard-shelled, sand-in-your-claws crabby crab. Don't worry, sometimes I can be a crabby crab too. We all can. We're human beings. But not today. Today I'm a frog that goes kissy, kissy, kissy. I'm a minnow that wants to tickle your toes. They're trying to make the crab feel better. I'm a puffer fish that will hold its breath and make silly faces at you. Yes, today I'm in a good mood. But when you're not, and you want everyone to leave you alone, go ahead and be a stinky anchovy for a while. And it's okay. Sometimes I tell Mr. Schmidt, hey, I just need to be alone and be quiet. Sometimes that makes me feel better. You might have to do that at your home too. Or a mopey manatee or a squid with a long face. I think they're feeling like they need to be alone. And when you're hungry, tired, and irritable and feel like blowing your top like a whale, you can eat, yawn, and burp with one big gulp. Burp. Then I bet you'll feel better. What do we say when we burp, though? Excuse me. Yeah. But if you don't, how about I'll be a sea lion and you'll be a seahorse and we can play ball? Would you like to tap, tap, toss with your tail while I bump, bump, bat with my nose? Or I can be a sawfish and you can be a hammerhead shark and we can build something fun. Would you like to hammer, hammer, hammer while I saw, saw, saw? Or I could be an octopus and you could be a sponge and then I would have 8 arms to hug you and squeeze you and hug you and squeeze you and hug you and squeeze you and hug you and squeeze you. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that anyway. Sometimes a hug is all we need. But only on a really tough day when you're not in the mood to play at all. You can be a hermit crab. And I can be a hermit crab with you. So they're just being quiet together. Did you notice that this page is the same as the front? They liked it so much. They liked the front cover so much that they made, They liked this page so much, they made it out of the front cover. That's what I meant to say. And we can sit in our shells side by side in the sand until you feel better. You can take as long as you need because I'll be right here. So look, they're still together, but they're not talking. They're reading. They're being quiet. By then, I'm sure your mood will change because moods do that. And soon enough, you'll be my happy, funny, silly crab again. The end. Okay, so boys and girls, remember, if you are not feeling yourself, you're not feeling right, you've got to tell your grown-up what's wrong so they can fix it, okay? All right. This is Friday, So I will not see you for the weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, but I'll be back on Monday. And I hope you have a beautiful weekend and you're kind and you're caring and you're helpful. And if you don't feel like being any of those things, maybe you could just be by yourself. All right. I'll see you on Monday.